Guys, we had some technical difficulties, but we are back. We're going to jump right into it, guys. Thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. I am Jason Poole, coming to you live from Basel, Switzerland, but more about that later. I'm joined today with my best friend, travel best friend. We talk all things travel. Haley, introduce yourself, and then we'll get started.
Hey guys, it's Haley. I am the owner of Hospitality with a Flair, which is a hotel sales support company, a travel blog, and this is just how Jason and I talk for the other 23 hours of the day.
It is so true, guys. We have a lot to talk about. Like I said, I'm in Basel, Switzerland. Spent a couple of days in Paris, but we will save that to the later part of the show. We have some cool topics to talk about today. So there is a common phrase I keep hearing in travel: revenge travel.
And you're not a fan of this phrase.
I'm not a fan of it. No, I'm not. Um, First of all, Haley, what is revenge travel?
So really it's that theory of, everybody was cooped up for so long from the pandemic that now they're just going to do all the things, do all the trips, do it all. Is kind of
Right.
the framing around the phrase.
Right. So there's been a lot of studies that have shown revenge travel is over. So a lot of the numbers are returning back to pre-pandemic numbers. We're seeing this from hotel chains have said this. I've even had some people say, hey, flights are really expensive, but prices have kind of come down a pinch on flights. So I think we are seeing I hate this phrase, a reversion to the mean. The statistician in me just that doesn't really exist, but that seems appropriate in this setting.
It
Um,
it is. We're seeing it in healthier markets too. Like Nashville is generally a pretty healthy market. As you know, there's hotels literally going up everywhere in Nashville. And, we're starting to see that those numbers in our hotels that are there go back to 2019 levels. So they're showing that they're pacing behind last year, the year before. But it's still in line with what 2019 was.
right, right. No, so what I have noticed, and this is just a small sample size of me, my clients, my travel agency. I've noticed that the number of bookings are returning to about 2019 levels. But what I've noticed is that people are starting to elevate their experiences. So the people who used to book 7 night balcony Caribbean cruises are now booking a suite. Or instead of 7 nights in the Caribbean, they're doing 10 nights in the Mediterranean. So we're starting to see people just decide to elevate experiences a little bit more. And Haley, I think about even you and I, our pre COVID trips we did, right?
Yes.
Versus now. I think 2019, Jason and Haley would be impressed by 2022, 2023, 2024, Jason and Haley. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like, if you think about it, in 2019, our biggest leap at that point was doing really that Trans-Pacific.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was a big change for us. And
It was.
and I think it also depends on, and I think you can agree with this too, it depends on what kind of travel you're doing and what your purpose is. There's some people that have zero desire to go bebop around Europe and do all the things. They want to relax. But I think even with those travelers, you're starting to see that shift in like, I want to relax, but maybe I want something a little nicer. Maybe I want something with a butler. Maybe I want this. So, keep in mind that it's not necessarily we're talking about like, oh, you have to be in Europe, the Galapagos, Antarctica. Like, it's kind of that like, if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to treat myself a little bit.
I could not agree more. And I've had a lot of people, friends and clients, text me and say, I cannot wait to hear about your river cruise adventure because I've been getting your mailers, I've been seeing your emails, been hearing your show. Like, I'm really interested. I mean, I was just talking to from the show admin of our Facebook group, Ken Jarvis, and he said, Jason, I got a mailer in the mail, something in the mail from Cruise Planners, and I was looking at some stuff from like Talc, AmaWaterways, Uniworld. He goes, Jason, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to kind of think about it a little bit.
I
Oh, oh no, you're back. Okay. Oh, guys, I think we lost Haley again. I don't know what is going on with her home internet. We're going to continue. Let me send her a quick message. Oh no, she's back. She's back.
I'm playing with it. Just keep rolling with it.
I was going to say, I'm going to keep going. If we lose you again, you might be having home internet. I love that I'm in Basel, Switzerland, and my internet's working better on cellular. But
I was going to make a comment, but it's definitely not appropriate.
No,
I caught myself.
We are good. We are good. So, all right. So moving on. So you found a great article that talked about the best cruise lines, according to readers and travelers, for Condé Nast of the best cruise.
Yeah.
Right, for 2023. That's interesting. So for mega ships,
this one blew my mind a little bit.
Same. So fourth place, MSC Cruises. Third place, Carnival Cruises. Number 2, Royal Caribbean International. And number 1, Norwegian Cruise Line.
I was extremely shocked by that vote. Now, granted, it's a very slim margin here.
It is. I'm looking at, it is 86.69 to 86.72.
Like, we're talking minuscule here.
We are.
But I'm kind of surprised seeing Norwegian that high. I kind of would have thought it'd be a tighter race between Carnival and Royal, with Carnival coming out with Mardi Gras. I mean, even MSC being a little higher now with Europa and stuff. But
yeah. So here's the thing about Norwegian. I've always, not always, I've been saying this a lot recently. I really, really like Norwegian's approach to their kind of all-inclusive, right? The drink package, the Wi-Fi, excursions. Like, I really like Norwegian's approach to how they price things. Now, because of that, the pricing on the invoice and the sticker price, the first price you see is often higher. But when you book a Royal Caribbean cruise or a Carnival cruise and add on drinks and Wi-Fi and excursions and dining, it often becomes the same price, if not more than Norwegian. So I really like Norwegian's, I kind of call it pricing integrity. They don't shy away from being a little bit more expensive because they think they are providing a premium experience. Personally, I prefer the ships of MSC. I prefer, obviously, what Royal Caribbean's doing. I mean, Oasis class, Quantum class. I mean, Icon class. I mean, even their older ships, Freedom class, Voyager class. I mean, Haley, it may not be the sexiest thing in the alive, but we had fun on Jewel of the Seas. Like all the views of the ocean. I just think
Royal Caribbean has pretty ships. Like, I would venture to say, out of all of those, aesthetically from the exterior, Royal Caribbean generally has the most beautiful ships. And then I'd probably give after that to MSC and then somewhere between Norwegian and Carnival. But
I agree. Now,
ships.
So Condé Nast also ranked best large ships. And
this, I want to know what people's thoughts were. But then again, I'm like, we spend a lot of time in cruise ship groups that are of brands that we like. So I encourage everybody to try to step outside of that bubble. When Jason goes through this list.
So we're not going to start with the, I'll quickly go 10 up. 10, MSC. 9, Royal Caribbean. 8, Norwegian. 7, Holland. 6, Costa. 5, Celebrity. 4, Princess. 3, Cunard. 2, Disney. 1, Virgin Voyages. Now, I think there's a couple things at play. I think comparing Disney, Cunard, Virgin, and Royal Caribbean in the same grouping is doing it a considerable disservice. That is like comparing a JW Marriott, a Holiday Inn Express, and an Embassy Suites in the same rankings. Do you agree?
I completely agree.
So I don't like their definition of large ships. Okay.
So here's where I tend to like think maybe this is housed in the school of thought. I don't like it, period. This isn't the way that I would do it. But I think it comes for that combination of large ships and value of what it is and what's included or what is on these ships. Because let's be honest, like Virgin, they extremely different, but they cater to a completely different set. You know, like somebody that doesn't necessarily need a drink package the whole time, but like they included gym classes, the different party experience. Like I think ambiance is a piece to this.
And look, and also Virgin also attracts a lot of first time cruisers. Okay. So in the cruising industry, there's kind of like two people the cruise lines are after: first to brand and first to cruise. The cruise lines want first to cruise. Okay. Because first to brand, people are comparing previous experiences. Okay. Even I got on board this beautiful AmaWaterways ship and thinking ocean voyages, right? Think of all the ocean cruises I've been on. And you're right, I walk on, it's totally different, right? So all the cruise lines went first to cruise. Virgin's done a very good job with first to cruise. I've done two Virgin cruises. I've met a bunch of people that is their first cruise.
Well, I think they've marketed so well to it being just something vastly different that when you see that, like, oh, that's different than those other cruise lines. So some people get that stigma of, very corny tourism when it comes to cruise ships. Like, let's party on the Lido deck. Like,
Right. Shuffleboard. Hold on. I think I saw a shuffleboard court somewhere
I
actually.
want to
Right.
see shuffleboard.
I want to see shuffleboard. Yeah. So look, kudos for Virgin. Virgin keeps winning a ton of awards. Look, Virgin does a lot of things right. I mean, Scarlet Night on a Virgin ship. I've done them twice now, and it is some of the most fun I've ever had on a cruise. Okay, like Scarlet Night is wild, but it's not just wild in like a party, like trashy spring break way. It's just a celebration of, and it sounds corny. They talk a lot about like the history of sailing, the history of people who like cross the ocean. And it's just like a celebration of like the sea. I just, I love it. I really like Scarlet Night. It's one thing I wish other lines would duplicate and have the kind of their own twist to it. It's amazing. I love Scarlet Night.
I love the idea of that. So
It's
that's
great.
going to lead us into chatting about you and then leading into our question of the day, which is, do all river cruise lines offer the same? But let's start with
Yeah.
Paris. So
I so
Paris is my Athens,
the Paris is so
or
guys,
Greece, my Greece in
right.
essence.
So I have
Um,
so I've tried to get to Paris for years now. Okay. Every time I booked a trip, I think I booked two during COVID. They got canceled. There was maybe one of them was
but
early
it might be my
2021.
London. That's what I was thinking of. It's my
It's your
London.
London. It's your London. It's your London. So, I've never been to Paris. Like, how is that possible? I mean, how many people on this planet have been to the like Galapagos Islands? Like, what is there?
Before Paris. Yeah.
Two people in the world who've been to the Galapagos before Paris, right? So I just love that I finally got to go to Paris. And the bar was set pretty high, right? But everybody talks about, oh, I love Paris, I love it, I love it, I love it. And I'm like, it can't beat
Barcelona.
Barcelona. It can't beat London. London, my absolute favorites. So I went, and I've heard people say the Parisians are rude, they're mean, the city's dirty. It's I was going in with a little bit of trepidation. Haley, I was actually texting a friend earlier today, and I said it might be London. It might be my new number one. I mean, first off the bat, the food is better.
I
I'm
feel
sorry,
I feel
Dominic, if you're
so
watching. The food is terrible in England. I'm sorry, it's terrible.
the British food is terrible. You just don't eat a lot of. There's really great ethnic food in London. I mean, case in point of what London is, but like you feel like cliche when you say like that you love Paris or it's your number one. It's like
I do.
I don't want to be that person, but like it's so good.
I loved it. I loved. I mean, so we did everything from some of the super touristy stuff, right? Like we went to the top of the Arc de Triomphe, which let me tell you, there's no elevator. That is
Oh
a
no, there's
hike. That is a hike. We did everything from that. We did fashion museum tours. I mean, going to the YSL museum, like that was awesome. Okay, like seeing
Olivia wants to do that
like
now because of you. Just so you know.
ugh, the YSL stuff. We went to other fashion museums. Like they did this great exhibit on like the history of like sport and sporting wear, which I won't bore all of our listeners who aren't into like fashion, but it was fascinating to learn about the history of like sportswear, athleisure, like from a fashion perspective. It was fascinating. We went to a variety of restaurants. I had more espresso and croissants than I care to admit. So that's why I think Michael is signing us up for an aerobics class first thing in the morning tomorrow to work off all of the croissants that we had. It was lovely. People kept asking me, are people rude in Paris? Like, I've heard this. I'm
I've
like,
never had a rude person in Paris. Like,
I think going to New York City, the people are ruder in New York.
I agree.
I just
Like,
think they're
they're not like the Italians that like will sit down with you and want to know all about your family
no,
and
no.
kiss you on the cheek and everything. It's a little colder, but I wouldn't say it's rude.
I know, not at all. So it was cool. Also, the city was buzzing for Paris Olympics. That was cool. Like we could see some of the construction for the Olympics. They're cleaning up the river, which Michael and I had a debate on how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to dare say it. But the city that the
Sen,
river that
the Sen.
I think he won the debate that runs in front through the city in front of the Eiffel Tower.
What did
I
you
mean,
call it? Or are
I
we
don't know,
waiting for after this show for you to admit this to
after
me?
the show. It was close. It was close. It was close. I mean, seeing even like the Olympic clock there, the countdown, like I just loved Paris. Actually, so when we were leaving yesterday, I actually got a little sad that we were leaving. So I absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to go back. Guys, if you've not been to Paris, like I just love it. There's so much to do. We had a really nice lunch in the so in Paris, when you say it's the opera in America, that often means like you're going to the opera, and there is an opera house there. That kind of that region, that building is like the opera. We had a lovely lunch. I mean, we just ate.
And I
Uh,
encourage people if you've been before and it has not been your cup of tea,
uh,
look at it different. Like the way that I've done Paris is slightly different than the way Jason's done
yeah,
Paris.
absolutely.
And I think, kind of as I told you before, there's different vibes depending on which arrondissement that you go to.
100%. 100.
So, don't just say because maybe you were near the Champs-Elysees and, you didn't like it because it felt touristy and packed. Try a different arrondissement. Like I always stay
No,
between the 3rd and the 10th. Like it's right on that line right there near the Pro Publique. And it's not quite as touristy and it's close to like the Marais and stuff like that.
right. Just because you saw me doing fashion museums does not mean that is all that there is to do in Paris. You don't have to go to the YSL Museum. You don't have to go to these like tasting menus. You don't have to have espresso every 20 minutes when you're in Paris. Okay, so I just could not get enough of it. One night we finished our river cruise tour, which was amazing. We saw Notre Dame, which I I could not believe how much of it was under repair. It was
It's still under repair from when it caught on fire in 2019.
I know I'm just surprised that it is like all of it is under like all of it. But the river cruise was absolutely lovely. and I, I I cannot wait to go back. I'm still in my head debating London versus Paris, one or two. But you know what? Doesn't matter. I love them both. They're both there. I want to go visit both again.
Well,
Like,
you and I can discuss that at hand in about a month.
okay, that is fair.
It'll
That
be
is
great.
absolutely true. So we did 3 days in Paris. Yesterday we took the train from Paris to Basel, Switzerland. Spent the night last night in Basel, Switzerland, and that's where I am today. We're in Basel. So we woke up this morning, explored the town. There's not a ton here, but it is just like a cute. It's not that it's like little, but it's just like it feels like a suburb. But there's like a lot of shopping, a lot of cute stores. Like it is so cute, and I am on an AmaWaterways cruise right now. Ken Jarvis replied on my Facebook, "Rome rules." I
Rome is a different animal. And
don't get,
Jason,
don't get on the tangent. Don't get on the tangent.
I know. It's a different animal.
We're just moving on. Uh,
It's a
Haley and
different
I will fight about Rome. One of us loves it. One of us likes it. We'll leave it at that. So
But I did tell you that I do prefer Paris to Rome if we're doing it
oh,
overall, though.
I now prefer Paris to every major city. It's amazing. So on the river cruise, we're going to do 7 nights with AmaWaterways. Super excited. We're going to be spending the whole. So even though we're in Switzerland, we are
Which ship
like
is it, by the way?
Ama Certo, British American. I've heard both pronunciations.
Or
CER.
Certo.
There you go. So this is my first time on a river cruise, and I am just really excited. It's quite different than what I've done before, but so far already the service has been amazing. It felt like more like checking into a hotel when we got here. They just take your bags, you just go to the lobby of the ship, which is like a hotel. You check in, they take your bags to you. It really did feel more like a hotel, which I think leads us great into our question of the day.
Yeah.
And what do all river ships the same thing? So the
So
base level,
I love this because Jason, I think you should take this back to what you initially used to think about river cruising before you
I
even
do.
start. Because we all see Viking everywhere, right?
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
And then you started learning about
So, yep. Yep. So, Vikings, the king of river cruising. Okay. They're about to have their 100th ship, including river and ocean. Okay. They are the king of river cruising. And I can take that away from them. They are the king of river cruising. And Viking, like all other lines, have excursions included. Viking's a little different. They tend to have one excursion included per port. Ama has 2, sometimes 3 different options per port. So there's a little bit more options. Vikings included excursion is often a bit more like a city tour and a bus, a little more passive activity. Since we've been on this, I just got a text that Michael just confirmed us on our included bike tour at one of the ports we're going to. Sama's a bit more active, focused. It's not like it's. We're not all. I mean,
and New
I think
World
I'm the
has a
second youngest person
variety
on
of
the ship.
has a few more choices typically for excursions than Alma, right?
They do. That is true. So as you go higher up, like Uniworld, for example, is like luxury. So I almost kind of think of like Viking introductory, Ama premium, Uniworld luxury, kind of the big three. I mean, there's Talc, there's Avalon, there's lots of other ones. But with like Uniworld, everything's included. Like all the laundry, all the drinks, all the excursions, like everything's included. But Ama reminds me kind of that like celebrity tier, kind of like mid tier. It's not introductory, it's not luxury.
So in my research, I had found, like Uniworld's kind of like that all in, all be all. But I've read that generally speaking, people's favorite rooms tend to be Alma though.
It is.
Like
So as someone
best
And someone go ahead.
Value was kind of rural, but best rooms and spaces was kind of going to Ama.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the room is small, right? I mean, it's not big. I mean, I've been
Can you shift your
spoiled.
camera and show them the ship next to you to get so you can kind of
Oh,
see what you're talking about?
yeah, like there's another ship docked like right. So the ships just line up. They dock in a row. You walk through them to get on and off the ports. So one thing, like the room was, it's not huge, right? I'm used to being in celebrity in the retreat, often in by myself in a suite. So the room was, I mean, it's not big. I mean, it's totally fine, like a regular balcony room. They do have suites on board, so people that want a bigger room, it's there. Um, but I'm just super excited. We have lots of cool tours coming up. I keep reminding myself Paris was the pre-trip, right? And what's cool is like we depart, and actually we need to go soon. Muster is very soon. We need to go soon. Um, we depart tonight at 10 p.m. So after the show, after muster, we are leaving the ship and going out to explore in town. Like that is cool that we get to do that,
And be in
on
port
the river.
later.
So and be in Port later. Yep. So I'm so
And this
excited
is a great way
because
to
I want to
visit
do it.
like inner Europe and stuff like that too. If you are kind of getting sick of doing the med or the perimeter of Europe and want to get into it. Just a little shade. No, I'm
Sick
just
of
kidding.
doing stuff. Like I do that. So Ken Jarvis one time told me, he said, he's like, the Med's becoming your new Caribbean. You need to do other things. Well, hey guys, I've got to run soon, but before we do, Haley, you have a tip of the day.
Yeah, so I always love shouting out the creators that are doing some neat things. This is actually a former like child actor kind of thing.
Okay.
He's done a few things, but the website is monkeymiles.boardingarea.com. He runs a great travel hack website. And a lot of times people assume when they just go to chase.com and see that the Sapphire 60,000 miles, that is the best offer. He has this really great online community where they share out, he has a spreadsheet of referral links for pretty much every travel card right now. Like if you were to go to American Express and look at a platinum card right now, it's 80,000 points for the sign up bonus. On this spreadsheet, there is somebody's referral link that has 150,000 point
What a
bonus.
neat idea. Okay.
So if you are thinking about looking for a travel credit card, head here to this website first. He updates it really frequently. I'm very much a fan of it. I've sent that out to a few people. And he has some pretty cool hacks. So I hope you guys enjoy that tip, and I hope you enjoy your cruise, sir.
I love it. Beach Bum Dave said bonus covered. Let's see the ship. We will soon. I got to get to the room, throw my MacBook in. We have muster soon. We're meeting some people for wine. So trust me, room tour, ship tours coming. Follow Instagram at Jason Poole Travel. That is the best place to see everything. Some of it shows up on Facebook, but Instagram sees all of it.
All right. Have
Okay.
fun.
Bye, Haley. Talk to you guys
Bye,
soon. Thanks for
guys.
watching, guys.